And we're only doing the first three. Of course, we would like to do everybody, but the first three, we got to make sure that everybody's paying attention to the show and watching the show every Friday. So stay tuned. We'll give you the phrase later on in the show. And for our first guest today, co-owner of the Pioneers, Chuck Heeman, the man and the reason why we are here, along with Myra Heeman, who will be on the show later, here to tell us all of the new stuff happening at the ballpark and with the team this season.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me. And really, to start off, this is one of the new things that we're doing. It's something we've wanted to do for a very long time. We have kind of come into the right personnel and the right equipment and everything to do that. And our partners here at Flyover have been gracious enough to host us every week, every Friday at lunchtime. Folks are welcome to come down. They're going to have food and drink specials and kind of meet the team as we go along. So to start with, this is one of the new things that we're doing. Some other things you'll see at the ballpark this summer. Our merchandise stand is going to be a little more formalized rather than what you've seen in the past. We're going to have new promotions. We have our party decks have been revamped, new furniture, new setups. There's going to be a tailgate area in the left field for groups. We're really emphasizing bringing your groups out to the ballpark. We are in a new league this year. We're in the Rocky Mountain League. We play more games. In that league, they allow you to play more home games. We have 33 home games scheduled, which is the most we've ever had. So, we didn't need to tweak a lot of things because of the community support here, and the Pioneers have been fairly successful. So it's been just really kind of looking at what else we can do. So when you come to the ballpark this summer, you're going to see some new things, some things that we've done in the past. But we're very happy to be here for year 7. We're very happy to have Anna and Jeff with us and everybody that's with us this year. We got a really good group of people this year, and as you get to know them, you'll see that they're really dedicated to doing good things at the ballpark and furthering their own careers. That's you'll see a lot of stuff at the ballpark, and even stuff that isn't announced yet as we go along during the year with our promotions. We have some cool things like we have a Seats of Honor brought to you by the Nebraska Army National Guard, where you can nominate somebody, and we bring them to the game and honor them and their family for their service in the military or as a teacher or a first responder. There's a lot of things new that are coming that you'll see. So I don't want to drone on too much, but you're going to see a lot of new things. We're obviously very excited about it, to be able to do some of the things that we've thought about for a long time. So we open on Tuesday night at 5:30, and we hope to see you there.
And one more question for you, Chuck, before we let you go. You've been involved with 3 teams in the past, but you've come back to Gering, Nebraska to work with the Western Nebraska Pioneers as the one team that you and Myra are going to be involved with and own, right? So what made you pick Gering as to be the one place where you came to come back and just do this team just instead of all 3 teams?
And that's a good question, Jeff, because as people that know us know, when we came here 7 years ago, we owned multiple teams in multiple states, and I think we're really arrogant enough to think that we could pull that off and still have a life, really. As we got into it, we found that it was just too much. But our base has always been Gering. People know we live here, we own a home here, we've been here. So over the last couple of years, Myra and I have kind of looked at everything, and it's like, gosh, how much fun are we having? This is a fun business. It's supposed to be fun, and we just weren't having any fun. And the stress and strain that it took on us being apart half the summer, at the end of last season, we just looked at ourselves and said, why are we doing this? What's the fun in this? We want this to be some place where if we're not having fun, how's anybody else supposed to? So we looked at everything. We divested ourselves of our other interests in other places and said, we're going to concentrate on the Pioneers and building it into what we want it to be. And again, this show right here is a part of that. The things that we've talked about, we just haven't had the time to do those. So that really came into why we did this. It wasn't a money thing. It wasn't a, we're just too tired. It was just the strain of trying to do 3 things in 3 different states at the same time. And as we get a little bit older, we want to have fun doing this. And it really came down to that. And so providing a better experience for our interns and our players and our fans, we weren't able to do everything we wanted to do. and we kind of felt like we were, things were falling through the cracks, and why put ourselves through that? So that's how we came to the decision to Gearing's been our home for 7 years, and we'll be here until until nobody wants us here anymore.
Thank you so much, Chuck. Like he mentioned before, we have new interns, new players, and you guys get with this show. You guys are going to get the inside scoop with the players, coaches, our interns, and everything in between. So we're going to head to a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to our outfielder, Ryan Johnson, a Guerin native, who is playing for his hometown team.
Just mute.
You want a break?
Welcome back. I'm going to recap a little bit because we might have had some trouble with some things. This is our first show. We're going to get some hiccups out of the way. But I just wanted to introduce ourselves again real quick. This is the extra inning at the Flyover Brewing Company. I'm on at Sembo with Jeffrey Nelson. We're here every Friday to give you guys the extra scoop on what's going on with the Western Nebraska Pioneers baseball team. Excuse me. So make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can get everything you want from the games to this amazing show. So now we talked with Chuck before the break. Now we're here with Ryan Johnson, and he's going to play a little game with us to start this off. So we have some bottles in an order that he is not familiar with and he doesn't know. So he's going to place these bottles at the top from left to right, and he's going to arrange them in a way that he thinks is correct. And we're going to tell him how many he got right, and he'll keep doing this until he gets the right arrangement. So
Yeah, we've got Starry,
Let's get
Pepsi,
started. I'm
Diet
gonna move over
Pepsi,
here.
root beer, Mountain Dew. Ryan's got to see if he can get them in the order that you can see on the screen inside the box. So, Ryan, whenever you're ready, put them in an order of 5, however you think they might be inside the box.
These are all products that you can buy at the games. So let's see how he does. Okay. So his first arrangement, he has 2 that are in the correct spot.
It's not bad, not bad.
Split these two up.
So now 0 are in the correct spot. Doing a lot better than Jeffrey's test run. I will say.
Hey. Listen, it takes some time. Honestly, it's harder than you think. It's harder than you think.
Now we're in 3 are in the correct spot. 2 are in the correct spot. Ding, ding, ding.
There we go. He got it faster. He got it faster than you too, maybe. So
there you go.
Well done, Ryan.
Let's say this. He didn't have a lot of confidence going into this, but he just killed it like he's going to kill it this season.
said he can't remember much when it comes to stuff like that, but it's all right. He got it done.
I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff out of the way real quick.
Man.
All righty, we can have a seat now. Gonna give it a minute.
All right, Ryan. So you did pretty good with that game, of course, a game that we've seen on TikTok a little bit. But I have a trivia question for you that's related to Gering and Scottsbluff, as you are from Gering, Nebraska. So the question is, do you know who the only person to play in Major League Baseball that comes from Gering or Scottsbluff is? I'll tell you, I think it was before you were born, but you might know the name, you might not. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was somebody from Gering or Scottsbluff that played baseball professionally.
Neither did I, so
That's
don't feel
not
bad.
like a common thing around these parts of, So no, I don't know.
The name is Kip Gross. He's the only person. He's from Scottsbluff. He made the majors in 1990. He was drafted by the Mets in 86. And believe it or not, he was drafted 3 picks before Bo Jackson was drafted. So I guess they thought he had a lot of potential getting drafted in the 4th round. He played for the Reds, the Dodgers. He went overseas to Japan and came back and played for the Red Sox in 99, and the Astros in 2000 was the last time he played in the majors. So something for you to know in case anybody ever asked you.
Fun facts with Jeffrey. Now we're going to switch gears and actually ask about yourself. So how do you feel playing for a team that's in your hometown and being able to continue playing a sport even in the off season?
So to me, baseball has always been, just like a summer thing. I've always played sports growing up, whether that was like wrestling or football or track, and then baseball is always just in the summer. And then when I committed to play baseball in college, obviously that kind of changed and it kind of became year-round. And so my freshman year of college, I kind of talked to different schools or different like summer programs like this, and I didn't really hear anything back. And so this year, when I reached out to Chuck to play at the Pioneers, I was like not expecting much. To be honest, I wasn't expecting a response back, but he asked for my stats and then all that kind of good stuff, and I just kind of ended up here. And it's super awesome because I kind of grew up watching the Pioneers, and I know some people that have played for the Pioneers, and so it's kind of cool just getting the opportunity to play for this organization and being able to continue what has already been started. So
Absolutely. And best thing of all is you get to sleep in your own bed that you probably slept in growing up, right? Or do you have a different house? I mean, it's probably nice being back at home, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I'm super glad that my parents still live here, obviously. It's obviously been a pretty big dream of theirs to have me play for the Pioneers, just because that's kind of like the highest level of baseball you could play here in Scottsbluff Gering area. And so when they kind of heard the news that I was coming back for the summer, because I didn't know if I was going to come back here or go play somewhere else. And so when I kind of told them that I was coming back here, they were super relieved and super excited. And so, but yeah, sleeping in my own bed and not having to like introduce myself to new people that I'll be living with over the summer is super nice. And so, yes, that is obviously something that I am super happy about.
Most definitely. And another question related to the game of baseball, do you view summer ball as any different from like your spring season when you were at your community college, or like when you're at school with the guys that you played with in the fall and winter, guys that you lift with, people that you're used to? Of course, you're back at home, but you've got guys coming from all over the country to come play here with the Pioneers.
So for me, I don't know, honestly, to expect when it comes to like this summer season. And obviously this is more of I wouldn't say this is like as a serious as like a college season or my spring season, but to me, baseball is baseball, and I'm going to take every opportunity I get pretty seriously, because you never know when you are never going to be able to play it again. And so for me, I'm just looking forward to being able to, play it the way I've always have. And so I don't really take spring or summer or whatever any differently. I'm just here to play to the best of my ability and see how that goes. So
Okay, so obviously, you being a native, you're gonna have to show some of the guys the ropes around this town. What does your off day look like? What are some of the spots you're gonna take your teammates to, being like, this is where this is where I'm going.
So an off day for me, I'm really into lifting weights and kind of just like being outside. And so I don't know if I'll ever take like a real like just sit at home off day or like but so I guess yeah, I'll go lift weights or I'll go practice baseball with like my little siblings and then just stuff like that. In terms of like things to go do around town or like places I'll take people. Obviously everybody's got to try Runza. Runza's like a big hot place in not only like Ewing Scottsbluff but just in Nebraska in general. And then I'd say the Monument just because it's a pretty place I guess for people to hike and it only takes like probably an hour or two to go up and down. So not too bad. But yeah, I'd just say different restaurants. We have a lot of, especially in Scottsbluff here, we have a lot of just like independent food chains that like are only here, and so it's like really nice. Just a different like diversion of food because we have American, and then surprisingly we have a lot of like authentic Mexican food too. So definitely got to try out some of those.
Absolutely. And you mentioned your siblings, of course. So how did they feel having you come back home and, getting to stay them? Because it was probably their first year having you go off to school and not being around for the entirety of a year, right?
Right. So, my siblings, I'm really close with my little brother. His name is Ben, and he also plays baseball. And I like to think that I'm a pretty big role model for him, and he kind of looks up to me in about everything. And so having me home in his eyes is probably pretty nice, because I haven't seen him in well over 5 months since about Christmas. So I'm sure having me home is pretty nice. My sister Allie, she is off and on. Her and I kind of butt heads sometimes, but we love each other at the end of the day. And so yeah, it's super exciting, and I know they're excited to see me play this summer because obviously the growth between my last summer and this summer is probably night and day. And so it's just it'll be super exciting for everybody that's involved. And so.
Okay, my final question is probably going to be, what are you most excited for this summer? I mean, playing here. What are you looking forward to this season?
I think the thing I'm most looking forward to is meeting new people and learning different play styles. I love learning how different people play the game of baseball, and so I'm a really passionate person about baseball. I hate losing. I hate people that are okay with losing. Like I'm not a big fan of not being very good, and so trying to adapt how other people like take that and see how other people treat this game because yeah, for me it's a very serious sport, and so learning how other people play and like especially this summer because it'll be a little bit different than what I'm used to. I'm used to like taking everything super serious and like playing for a spot, and then this year's going to be more like I wouldn't say laid back, but more of like you're going to be all right realistically no matter what happens.
On the game itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned that passion, right? Who would you say is your major league comparison? If you were to say this player is like me, if you saw me play, you would think of this player. Who would you say you would think that is in the major leagues?
I would say in terms of attitude and like who I am as a person, there's a player that he's plays for a AAA team, and his name's Drew Gilbert, and he plays for Tennessee.
Absolutely, Tennessee. Yeah,
and him and I get compared a lot at my college because I've been told he's a big like laid back guy, but like as soon as he gets on the field, he's all business and he's super serious. And then major league wise, I wish I played like him, but him and I have kind of the same attitude when it comes to baseball. I'd say I'm a lot like like Bryce Harper, just because he takes the game. He's super passionate about baseball.
Absolutely.
And like some people hate it, but I love the way he plays baseball and the way he treats the game. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan, and we're excited to see you and the rest of Pioneers in action this season, starting with the first game on Tuesday at 6:35. So after another quick break, we'll sit down with co-owner Myra Heeman to talk about host families. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Sitting with us now is the beautiful Myra, co-owner of the Pioneers, and we thank you for talking with us. And we know it's a stressful time for you because before opening day. But what does the host family look like for you when it's this close to the season?
Well, needless to say that maybe 2, 3 hours a night sleep, if I'm lucky.
Yikes.
Because even though every year I know that it works out, I already know our community have been so amazing, and I'm so grateful for our host families. They never let me down. I had one player left that wasn't placed as of yesterday, and I get a text from one of my host families. Stephanie, shout out to Stephanie Holly. You're amazing.
Yes, Stephanie.
I love you. And she sent me a text and she said, hey, how are you doing on host family? I said, oh, I have one player more that I haven't placed and he's flying in tomorrow. And she said, well, you know what? If you're freaking out, if you're so desperate, I'll take him. I'm like, how do I not love my host families, right? It's like at the last minute. And she bails me out, and I'm looking for the happy emojis. Now I can find it's crying emoji. I said, are those tears of joy? I said, well, they were tears of unhappiness because I didn't have a host from. Now they're tears of joy. But yeah, my host families are amazing. Right now, we'll probably have a couple of more players coming in. Basically, we usually recruit our pitchers very last. And I don't have any host families available. So please, 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 I just want to be ready for these kiddos to, when they come in, I want them to have a home. I want to be able to say, you're ready, you're set. You have a host family. The coaches, and I know it's really beyond their control. They'll come in and tell me the night before, hey, I have a player coming in and he's coming in tomorrow. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have any host families. So this year, I want to be prepared.
That 2 hours of sleep turns into 1 or less than that, huh?
Yes, yeah. And then people wonder when and I'm always upbeat, but some people that know me very well, they know. They're like, oh, why are you so stressed out? I'm like, host families. Why? Why do you think?
So if you see her at the ballpark, give her a big old hug. She'll need it.
She definitely is a hugger, that's for sure.
Very well. We're in a good spot.
Absolutely.
She did a great job putting this together.
Thank
you so much.
Oh, of course. And you guys are the very first, people that I place because you guys are the early, arrivals. So I want to make sure that you guys have, a place to come to. And I know at the beginning, you guys were looking at me like, I don't have a host family yet. And I kept telling, you guys, trust me, you will have a host family. I don't care if you come in and I still don't have a host family, I will not let you go homeless. I've never, God forbid, it's never happened. I hope it never happens. But as long as we are in this awesome community and these host families are ready to step up and be a part of the Pioneers Program host family, I'm set. I can breathe. So that's why
Absolutely.
I call it my happy place.
Yeah.
It's always been. It'll always be. This is my happy place.
Of course. And how many people do you think you've had just hosting players so far this year? Of course, you mentioned that you have most of them filled, if not all of them. But in a community of, a decent amount of people, how many people are willing to be host families? Or do you have to turn people away at all?
Last year I had to turn one host dad away because I didn't turn him away. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I kept this application because I knew eventually I was going to need him. This year he stepped up and due to a horrible tragedy in his family, that was a part of why he felt I need to be a part of the Pioneers. And, longer story. And it's something that if you guys look at our souvenir program, there'll be a story about his sister who was murdered. And, that's something that I want to pay tribute to and, give my host dad my condolences because I know he's still grieving. But he comes up and he says, I'm ready to, to host. Do you have anyone? And at that time, I just had a couple of players left that weren't placed. And he says, send me whoever. He says, I'm single, but I'm responsible. I'm a good guy. I go, of course you are. So he stepped up. I did a count because every year I look for something special for my host families. This year is going to be something really, 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 really special. And I did a count, and including the kiddos and their host in their families and the household, I had 69 people. Well, I've had since I did the count, I've had 4 extra new host families that have stepped up and gotten into the program this year. So I would say about 78, 79. So that's amazing.
That is.
For a community like this to step up and really understand that when the time's needed, that they need to show up, and they definitely do for the summer.
They are amazing. They are amazing. And I know you guys are so happy with your host families.
Absolutely.
Good.
I'm so thankful that I get to be here in this community. I mean, I've never been on the West Coast, and this is towards the West Coast, and it's just so beautiful to see this town and being able to see all the little niche things that are here. It's very different from where I'm from.
Oh, you just wait till we actually start the season. The engaging that they're so into the games. I mean, it's just such and the only word that I can think of and that I've heard people say, it's an electrifying experience when you're at a ball game with the Pioneers. And it's not, yeah, of course it's our players, and it's you guys.
Right.
But above all is that emotional support that the fan base has for our teams and our interns. They're always, hey, who are you having come back next year? They want the same interns to come back year after year, or the same players. But I always tell them, no, you know what? Every year it's a new experience with a new batch of, interns, a new batch of players. And these are people that you guys come from all over the country, and how awesome it is for us to expose what we have right here in Western Nebraska to you all. New Jersey, California, Arizona, Washington. That I take such pride of with my community.
And of course, you mentioned about the team a little bit, and we have some events coming up this weekend. I don't know if you want to tell the audience about it. We have some stuff going on at the Midwest Theater, but also an event on Monday, right, for ticket holders and for, is it potentially host families or no?
Yes, it's for host families as well. I just sent the email yesterday. So for those of you who haven't checked your emails, host families, please do so. We are having a special event for all of our season ticket holders and their families, our host families and your families. At the Midwest Theater, starting at 5 o'clock. That's where I will be distributing the goodie bags. I call them the goodie bags because there's going to be some goodies in there. And that's when you get your badges, for as a host family that you all need. And I know I've had a couple of responses. Oh, I'm going to be busy. Well, don't worry, Jackie, I got your back. Your host son will take you the goodie bag. But yes, so please come and join us on Monday. It's going to be an amazing, it's a meet and greet, basically. Y'all going to get to meet all of our players, all of our interns. The players will be able to say a little bit about themselves. And you guys get to see them before we open the gates on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
And then this weekend, they'll be doing a little bit of premieres for the movie theater, and we'll have some of us out there.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about those times?
Yes, please. We are partnering with Tina at the Midwest Theater. She's been amazing, and we are going to be volunteering a bunch of our interns ourselves. Chuck and myself will be there every day. And it's in the evening. I believe there's a matinee that they're having today, but we're not going to host a matinee. However, Hiram will be there. Oh, Hiram, without failure, he will be there. And we'll have Hiram every evening between now and Monday. We're going to be serving popcorn. We're going to be, we'll be the staff, basically. But it'll be the Pioneer staff.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Myra.
Thank you, guys.
Anything else that you want to add? Anything? I think
Right now, I think we're full.
we're going on host families too, right? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, shout out to all my host families.
Awesome.
Love you guys.
Okay, we're going to take a small break, and then we're going to come back and just kind of wrap everything up in a nice little tight bow, and that will be the end of our show. We forgot to kind of admit the secret word during our little thing, so we're going to tell you guys the secret word after the break, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in a second. Alrighty, we are back. We actually have a surprise guest that we just found out. Dan over here at the Flyover Brewing Company. But before we do that, we do have to backtrack a little bit.
Yes, we did forget. We did forget.
I kind of got lost in the heat of the moment when we were talking to Ryan over here before. But the secret word and phrase for this week's game, which is Tuesday, is going to be the number 12 because in honor of Ryan. So the number 12 is going to be the phrase. You can come up to the merchandise truck, say that phrase. If you're one of the first 3 people, you will be getting a special prize.
Absolutely.
So we hope to see you guys at the ballpark. But let's head over to Dan over here.
As we said, Dan is our surprise guest. Dan, what is your role here at the Flyover Brewing Company? Of course, we'll be here every Friday. So what is your role here?
I'm the head brewer.
Gotcha. So what does that entail for you? Of course, we see pipes for brewing, of course, over there. But, you know, what does that entail every day for you?
So I'm kind of oversee everything. I make the plans of what we're brewing, when we're brewing it, what goes into the brew. I direct a small crew of people who do some of the work around here. Well, most of the work around here, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm just basically in charge of planning and making sure the beers get made and this place keeps running.
Awesome.
Keeping the tanks full.
What is your favorite brew from here?
My favorite brew right now that's on tap is our Aztec Eagles. It's a Mexican lager. So.
And then what are like the notes for that?
I mean, it's a pretty simple Mexican lager. It's got kind of a fruity hop flavor. It's really mellow. Goes good with a lime and drinking it in the sunshine. So.
And he rhymes. Look at him.
And so we do have some interns that might not be 21. So if we came to get food here, what would you say would be something that we might get to eat or something like that?
My kids love the kids pizza. You can put whatever topping you want on it. You can kind of design it yourself. Comes with a fruit snack. So kids love that. And we got lots of wings. We got all sorts of pizzas you can choose from. So
Yeah, I'm the one of those interns who is not of age just yet. In 1 month, I'll turn 21, and I will definitely be checking this place out. You got to give me a tour.
I will do that.
And then I love these cans that you guys have.
Yes.
These are so cute, adorable.
Thank
I
you.
overheard though that you need to be careful with these guys though at the ballpark.
What is that?
I don't know. We had she told me that 2 of these can do it for you at the ballpark.
They're about 6.7% alcohol. So, yeah, you don't need a bunch of these, especially being in the tall can. A couple of them will do you.
A couple of them. So, guys, heard it here. Don't overdo it with the beers at the ballpark. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or like to share about this company?
No, I think we're good.
You said you've been here for 2.5 years, right?
I've been 2.5 years. I've been head brewer for about 2 years of that. So.
And you love your experience here? I mean, what's it
do.
like for you being in Gehring? Well, you're in Scotts Bluff, technically, right?
I was born and raised in Gehring, so I've lived here my whole life. This job kind of came across to me as an opportunity that doesn't come across very often. And, yeah, I've been happy to work here ever since. So.
It's a beautiful location. I mean,
Thank you.
It catches the eye when you're driving down this road. It gives me, I'm going to be honest here, it gives me a little Tampa vibes. I'm from Tampa, Florida, and when I saw this on the side, I was like, dang, this is just like home.
I appreciate that because before I was brewer, I was a bricklayer, and I actually did a lot of the construction on the building.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
when the
no.
place first opened, I still owned my own construction business.
Wow,
And just,
amazing job. Like I said, it would catch an eye of a Tampa native. I'll tell you that much.
The man helped make the building, and now he helps sell the beer.
Right.
So
no, that's one thing that we've always focused on here. The owners were very big on bringing that big city feel to Scotts Bluff. They've been to bigger areas, and they didn't want to make something that was just good enough for here. They wanted to make something that would be on par with a bigger city. And they stop at nothing to make sure that they bring top notch to the town.
Well, they definitely did it the right way. So if you need to tell them that Tampa native approved, Cincinnati native and Tampa native approved. This would be found in Tampa, Cincinnati. I could see this in Gainesville, Florida, for sure, being the hot spot.
Awesome.
And I'm sure it's a hot spot here.
It is. Yeah, we keep busy.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Yes, thank you.
We'll hopefully see you guys at the ballpark soon.
Oh, I'll be there. I already got my tickets.
we're going to do a quick wrap of the show. Of course, we're going to give you a little recap about what happened so far in our show. Of course, we'll be here every Friday starting at 12 o'clock.
Yep, we'll give you guys the scoop of interns that are here so you guys get to meet the lovely people who are doing all the backstage stuff. We'll be doing interviews with players, coaches, just giving you guys a recap or kind of what to look forward to what to look forward to in the upcoming games. So yeah, and just some fun stuff. We did some games today, but we'll have a lot more planned for you guys. And we did have a few hiccups this time, but
It
you know, it happens.
happens.
That's
First show.
First show. It always happens. So be on the lookout for probably a better production in the next coming
for
weeks.
sure.
For sure.
Absolutely. And opening day is Tuesday. You know, first pitch is set for 6:35 as the Pioneers will be hosting the Denver Cougars in a 2-game series for their first game in the Rocky Mountain League. Down the road at Oregon Trail Park Stadium, just go straight down 10th Street and take a right, and you basically be at the ballpark. We hope to see you all there, and thank you for tuning in to the Extra Innings Show. I'm Jeffrey Nelson.
And I'm on Semba. Thank you so much for watching. And again, make sure to follow all the social media and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you are not missing a single thing.